All right, so this weekend, the latest Harry Potter spinoff hits the big screen, but its magic has gone kind of dark in recent years. The Fantastic Beasts franchise has been plagued with controversy, from recasting issues after Johnny Depp quit to Russian President Putin comparing himself to author J.K. Rowling. Now, producers hope this latest installment, The Secrets of Dumbledore, will revive the appeal. Joining Morning Rush now to look into his crystal ball to see the film's box office future is Erik Childress, board member for the Chicago Film Association and host of the Movie Madness podcast. Thanks for being here on this Friday. I just mentioned a few of those controversies surrounding this latest film. Yeah. Do you think fans of Harry Potter even pay attention to that kind of stuff? And if so, how could it affect attendance?
Well, I think that parents, who are taking their kids, I don't think that, faction really pays attention much to the controversy. I think the older people who have grown up with Harry Potter, different older generations, might pay attention to that a little bit more. But with this Fantastic Beast franchise, even with all the controversies, and you could even throw Ezra Miller's been having some problems lately, and he's in this series, and Catherine Waterston, who spoke out against some of the things that J.K. Rowling has said, she's basically been written out of this latest chapter. So it just seems to continue to spiral. But like what I was saying with this Fantastic Beasts franchise, it feels like it's kind of like putting stale whipped cream on top of a melted sundae. People, I don't think, were that interested in it to begin with, and the extra layer just doesn't help it any.
Sure, that's an interesting metaphor, but I see what you mean. So that also being said, it's Easter weekend. Traditionally, what kind of success do films see on a religious holiday weekend? Several holidays happening this weekend.
Well, I think it sort of depends. I mean, Easter it's not quite the same movie-going holiday that, say, like Christmas or Thanksgiving usually are, but it all kind of depends on the movie. And the biggest Easter openings have been really franchise movies like Batman versus Superman and a couple of the Fast and the Furious movies. So, big, sort of blockbuster type things, and which Fantastic Beasts certainly fits into that realm. But the thing is that it also has Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which opened last week to really record numbers, $72 million. And so you're going to have families sort of fighting back and forth about which one they're going to go see this weekend. And I think that's going to hurt Fantastic Beasts numbers. I don't think the numbers are going to be as high as people are expecting. And I would not be shocked if Sonic the Hedgehog 2 actually beat it this weekend.
Okay. Well, what about this new Mark Wahlberg film, Father Stu, which he described as an Easter miracle after taking 6 years to make? Do religious-based movies do well on opening week, and it's particularly happening on a religious holiday?
Well, over Easter, there have been a couple notable successes by the same studio, Sony, that is releasing Father Stu. In 2014, there was a film called Heaven is for Real that grossed over $90 million. And in 2016, a movie called Miracles from Heaven that grossed over $60 million. So those are films that, over this period, and they open them in midweek as well, the way Father Stu did, have seen a degree of success. Father Stu, on the other hand, is not PG rated like those films were. This is an R-rated film, R-rated for language, and the people who go out to see those movies, sometimes that's not exactly their cup of tea. The language makes it a little bit more of an honest sort of treatment of this true story, which I think is a pretty flawed film. But I think it's going to actually do a little bit better than some people might be expecting. Not huge numbers, but people I think are going to come out for it.
Okay, and you mentioned Sonic the Hedgehog racing to #1 at its opening weekend, reeling in $71 million in the U.S., actually the biggest opening weekend for a video game adaptation. So why is this movie doing so well compared to others?
Well, I think one thing that happened is, Sonic the Hedgehog, the first film, came out in 2020, and it was really one of the last films to get released before the pandemic started. So it was out for a month, kind of got its run cut short after a month, but it had grossed almost $150 million. And I think it was one of those films that eventually, when it came to home video and streaming, that families caught up with. There were people who had time off during that time. And I think when this movie came out last week, kids were, begging their parents to go see the new one. And I think that's why it did much better than the original did. And right now it's on path to gross over $200 million in the U.S., and with the international dollars, could very well become the biggest video game adaptation ever.
Wow. All right. Good for them. All right. Erik Childress, board member of the Chicago Film Association and host of the Movie Madness podcast. Thank you for being here with us today.